And now we'll go render, create render node, and we're just going to do a regular mantra. Now you'll see it's jumped us out into the out view, and we have a mantra node. And for render settings, I honestly don't know too much about all the render settings, but the one thing I do know is that the pixel samples is really important, and basically the higher that these samples are, all the other settings become of higher quality as well. So I usually just bring up the pixel samples. This is quite high, maybe just for grooming test render we'll do 6, and the higher this is, the less noise there will be. And let's choose the camera to be our groom cam. And if you wanted to render it to disk, you could. This is where it will render. We could also copy and paste this one and call this one our turntable and set this to be the turntable with higher settings like that. Also, you can see our groom camera is set to render current frame, and if I go to the mantra turntable, I need to set this to render the frame range. This is automatically set to the timeline here. If you want to change that to render specific frames, you can just right click here, delete channels, and now you can enter your own numbers. You can also right click, revert to default. And in the turntable, I want to allow motion blur. I want to see the motion blur on the walk and the run. Just know that this will make things so much slower, and if you are just trying to look at how your groom is looking and you're not doing your final render, I recommend turning this off. Okay. And just a quick look at the material here. You'll see that we automatically have a hair shader. You can change the root and the tip color to be whatever you like here. But let's render. So let's go to the render view, and we can choose the mantra node here. So we want to render the chin, and we're going to render. If you set this to the ROP camera, it will read the camera from here, but we could also set it manually and click render. And you'll see that we've got an error. One thing I forgot to mention is that in order to render, it needs the guides to be visible for some reason. And even though I've turned it on, it's still not rendering. This is a bug. So I'm just going to stop, and I don't know why sometimes I have to click them on and off, and then we'll just hit render again, let it recalculate. And another weird bug is that sometimes you'll hit render and the whole image will be flipped upside down. And to fix that, you just press H and it'll reset the zoom and flip it. I just thought I'd let you know in case it happens to you and you're wondering what's going on. Okay, now we are rendering the chin hairs. You'll see that in the bottom left-hand corner, there's some information about rendering. So if I hold the left mouse button, it will focus on trying to complete the area where my mouse is. You can shift drag to create a render region box, that sort of thing.